So I'm going to put a little drop in there. I'm going to add some water to it and stir it up. There you go. I'm going to do a little drop of water in there, not too much.
Yeah.
Yep. And then a little bit into the green there.
Whoops. Good.
All right. That's okay. We're dealing all with spills and making the paint move today. So it's okay if you get a little drip on there. And then if you would, you're just going to slowly stir it up. Okay. All right. All right. I'll leave you with Joe Shell to paint here. Let me do a double check on there to see if we're streaming or not. Kim said it's now on. What do you think? Should we start over? All right. So technical difficulties are we're streaming. Okay. Well, hello everyone. That's an awkward start. Getting back into things.
Oh, brother.
So our computer told us we were streaming, but apparently we were not. So welcome to Live Art Mini. I hope we have some viewers out there. Give us a shout out, like, or give us a comment. Jo Shell is already hard at work on her painting. So we're gonna get back to our intro. Want to just do it over again? This is like a redo. Live Art Mini, take 2. I'm here with Josephine Shell, who is just painting away. But you want to take a break from your painting to say hi to anyone out there?
No.
Oh, come on now. You had some highs when we started the first time.
Cause my boss high.
Yeah?
Actually, I want friend high.
Is that the friend you're going to see this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, friend, yeah.
And then we got Labor Day weekend coming up, and Jo Shell's got some big plans. You want to tell us about it?
The hot dog then, bean, corn,
Hot dogs, green beans, corn.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got a barbecue going on.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, my friend do for me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, hopefully I get to grill out too and play with my little boy. So we'll probably go to a park, something like that. But I hope everyone has a great Labor Day weekend. I also want to tell you about the special here on Thursday. We've got Alive After 5 in downtown Hamilton. So the theme is Hamilton's Future is Bright. So we've got some new lights for the storefront. Come say hi and meet Draven, who's our new retail sales associate. And we got 25% off on night lights and sun catchers. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to stock up?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we are on our last week of modern art as our theme. So modern art is kind of a period of art between the 1930s and the 1970s, 1960s, 1970s. A lot of people don't really understand it because it got really weird and really abstract. So a lot of people just doing shapes and colors, color-filled paintings. Something you would see in a museum, say like, well, I could do that, and you probably can. But it was the artists that were focusing on just line shapes and colors and enjoying making art for art's sake without having to be too realistic on the way. So we're focusing on the artwork of Helen Frankenthaler, who was a large-scale painter, and we'll show you some pics later today. But we're using Jo Shell's favorite material, which is paint. So she likes some watercolor paint. So we are going to work on the scene here and then try a piece in the style of Helen Frankenthaler. Just a moment. So let's switch to the overhead creativity camera. Ba-bam. So, Joshua, if you look up here on the computer, everyone can see what you're working on right now. So I'm going to slide that forward just a little bit. And then Joshua picked the scene, so it looks like a house and trees. Never mind the dots in the sky. That was a happy accident.
Oops.
Yeah. That's all right. So the artist we're looking at had lots of free-flowing paint, lots of stuff going on. So it is all okay. You want any more colors on your palette? Some blue for the sky. All right. So we're using the tube watercolor paints. So we already squeezed out a little bit. So if you would just want to mix that up right there in your palette.
It looks good, Joe.
All right, we got Lisa out there watching. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm glad you love what we're doing. You got fans, Joshua. We can't see them, but
yeah.
I'm getting the message that there are people watching out there. So let me help you mix up that watercolor. So tell you more about modern art. So about the turn of the century, early 1900s, the camera was really popular. And it was invented in the late 1800s. So a lot of people were looking at drawing and painting and thinking, well, our job was to paint realistic scenes in the past, but now we have this invention that just does it for us. So artists started thinking, like, what else could we do with the materials? And then they started getting a little bit crazier with the colors, impressionism, things like that. A lot of people are familiar with Monet, who did little dabs of paint. What's that? Your phone ringing?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe you want to let that go to voicemail?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. Don't call back if it's important. Nothing more important than your painting right now.
I'm done.
No, you can add some more. I got all these colors over here. So you got a little glop right there.
A glob.
A little glob.
A blob.
That's when we're using the tube watercolors. You want to mix it up really well so there's no solid. Okay. You want to go with a larger brush since you've got a big sky? There we go. I say let's switch to a bigger brush too.
Huh?
A bigger brush here. That way you can really let the watercolor flow.
The one.
Sure. There you go. You can even pre-dip your brush in the water to make it flow even more. So we're getting the effects of the watercolor paint. And while you're doing that, I'm going to upload some Helen Frankenthaler pictures so we can see examples of what she did. We want to take it all the way down to your house. Oh, that looks fine.
Good. This one.
Yep, you can go around your sun if you want to paint that in yellow later.
Oops. Colored pencil almost got away from me.
That's very true.
Oh yeah, it's mixing with your green. That's all right. So we're talking about modern art and impressionism. Sometimes it would use different colors mixed in. So very close to pulling up this page here for us.
No. No. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you want for your house here?
Okay.
Red? Okay.
It's solid green.
Okay, so you want to get a clean brush there because you're going to have to mix up the watercolor paint. We're just going to put it over here in this section. Then pour a little bit of water in there. There you go. Mix, mix, mix. Oh, you got it overflow. That's all right.
Yikes.
We're just going to keep it right on there.
Oh.
Then we're going to mix the red. And I'd use a smaller brush there since we have it behind your house. There you go. All right, Michelle, we got some more watchers out there. Mimi Sinclair is watching us today. And Jean Sparks says hi.
Oh, wow.
Everyone says hi, Jean. Jean, you got lots of fans out there. Yep, still working on getting that picture. Okay, I'm just going to save it to the desktop here. And then go back into our program. I'm going to put your page up just a little bit. I like it. Let me know when you're finished with that, and I'm going to do an abstract version of it since our theme is modern. So I'm going to be inspired by your painting and show you some ways that Helen Frankenthaler would have painted. Good to go? All right. So I'm going to switch over to a picture here. Michelle is watching today. Michelle Barnes-Davis in our dance studio down below. Oh,
Hi, Mister.
there we go.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello.
It's our favorite dance teacher.
Wow.
All right. So let's take a look. Boom. See that picture right there, Joshua?
Yeah.
That's Helen Frankenthaler. So she was born in New York City, and at the time, all the modern artists in the world were moving to New York because a lot of the center of the art world was Paris, France. So when World War II was happening, a lot of the best scientists and thinkers and writers and artists kind of fled Europe because no one wanted to be around that mess. So they landed in New York. It's on the East Coast. It's like the closest port city and the biggest city at the time. So the center of the art world moved to New York City. So Helen Frankenthaler grew up in the midst of that. Some people might recognize the names Jackson Pollock, a lot of splatter painters. But here's a depiction of her in her studio. So you can see that she worked large scale. Some of her pieces were like 8 feet, 10 feet tall. It's huge. So she was considered an abstract expressionist because she didn't really paint pictures of things. She went through different periods. Sometimes she did paint things early and later in life, but her most famous style is just color field paintings. So everything you see right there. What do you think of those paintings, Joshua?
Mm-hmm.
You like them?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about them? Okay.
The blue, way, white, damn.
You like the colors you see?
Yeah.
That's what the modern artists were doing. They're just thinking about shapes, colors, lines, and making enjoyable images that didn't necessarily have to look realistic. So I'm going to show you how she worked, if you don't mind me scooting your painting over for a second. So I've got another piece of watercolor paper.
You done.
So we'll move that one temporarily. And then just keep in mind, you have the blues at the top, the reds at the bottom. And we're going to work on this one together. So yeah, I got some streaks going right there. I don't even mind because it's going to be part of our picture. I'm going to put some more blue in our palette. Any other colors that you'd like to add?
Oh, wait.
Maybe some yellow later?
Yeah. See?
Okay. So we're taking two pieces of inspiration, that picture of Helen Frankenthaler, then your original picture that you made out of your head, and we're going to make it abstract. Abstract really means just, it's not of a thing. It's a little bit distorted, a little bit different. So one thing we could do is start with some lines. And think about it as kind of like nonsense, crazy lines. I see a shape here already forming, so I'm just going to make a big line like that. A big line like this. You want to add some to it?
Uh-oh. What?
Any lines you want. Doesn't have to be of an image. Go with that circular motif.
No.
Sure. You want me to add another one? I'm going to add one right at the top there. Now I got some big brushes here because Helen Frankenthaler painted large. And what she would do sometimes, is one of her art movements, is that she would pour paint onto the canvas and then pick the canvas up and just kind of tilt it, rotate it, move it around, make it do different things. So we're going to try that with watercolor.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
This could look a mess or it could look amazing. I'm just going to put some watercolor down here, add extra water to it.
That's cool, Stephen.
Thank you, Kara. And we're just going to start moving it around.
Woo! Woo! That looks
It looks like, I always see things. It looks like a dog. There's the nose, there's the legs. But we're just going to let that water flow and move around. And then one thing the modern artist did was...
It looks like a bear to me already.
Does it? They would create methods and techniques where it doesn't look like someone painted it with their hand. So by tilting the paper and letting the watercolors move around, we did some things that we couldn't necessarily control, like painting with a brush. So we switch colors or keep on with the blue? You want the red?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to let you take the lead. Reach on up there and put the red wherever you feel it should go. Where do you think? All right. Nice. Any other spots you want to put some red?
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to put some just plain water on top. Maybe I'm just going to like drip it.
Ew.
And then you can kind of move the paper around however you want. You can tilt it, lift it up, let it flow.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
It's all right. I'll clean it up later. There we go.
Oh.
Get some on you? Well, luckily we're using watercolor because it washes off very easily. This morning we were using oil enamel, painting a fire hydrant for Hamilton's firefighters. So that's going to be coming out soon. Keeping your eye out for that, but that would not have washed off. But watercolor will. And then also we can start looking at it for a composition. So think about which way it goes. Is that the bottom? Is this the bottom? You like it like that? Yeah. How about we add some yellow to it? I think we're going a little past 1:30 today because we started late. Our stream started late. So hopefully we get all of our kinks worked out by next week. Next month, in September, we're going to be featuring famous women artists. So this is a nice transition because the modern art movement, Helen Frankenthaler was really one of the better artists of the time. And that was still at a period when the art world was dominated by men for the most part. So we're going to put our sights on the famous women in the arts in September. And my first artist I'd like to look at, we'll find someone from the studio to look at the works of Sonia De Lanae. We got some yellow now. How about a big fan brush? And make sure you dip it in the water first, that way it flows nicely.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome, Kara. And you could go for an open spot or mix it like you did right there. It's up to you. Feels kind of weird just playing with paint, doesn't it?
Now, water.
Sure. Okay, so now we look at it from perspective of just composition, lines, shapes, and colors, how your eye moves around it. So I'm going to do a little mixing down here, that flow. Because what was created kind of mid-century was the idea of the elements of art. You got line, shape, color, texture, form, and then you also have principles of design like movement, rhythm, different ways your eye reacts when you see a piece of artwork. So I'm just going to do some dots. That's fun. How about some dots?
Well, there.
Yep. More. And then maybe touch it off with some bright red somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, because this red's kind of got muted. The yellow is very light, just like the paper, so that's kind of subdominant. And the red's going to be our big, bold color. Yeah, I'm thinking it needs something, since this is the bottom, we decided on that, to have something more bold down here to ground it. Look at that, that's amazing looking.
If you just flick the bristles, it'll get the color more over it.
Just let it flow. Shimmy, shimmy.
Stephen, if she just flicks the bristles at the paper, it'll get it to look more three-dimensional.
Gotcha. All right, so thanks for joining us for Watercolor Experiments with Joe Shell. We're going to switch back to our front camera here. Got to get used to the controls again. Shake the rust off. So we looked at Helen Frankenthaler today, modern artist who did large-scale paintings, color-filled paintings where she would pour the paint on and just kind of let it flow in different directions. We did the same thing. We took inspiration from Joe Shell's painting in terms of the color, and then made an abstract piece. and then it just kind of took on its own life and went somewhere else. You like painting like this, abstractly? It makes it more...
Yeah.
Okay. I think it makes it kind of fun sometimes when you don't know what to do. You just start playing with the materials.
Yeah.
All right. Any parting words for everyone out there?
No.
All right, we'll keep a lookout for our notice for next week. Famous Women in the Arts for September. Like I said, we've got a live after 5 on Thursday night, so the store is going to be open till 9 o'clock. We got those specials on night lights as well as sun catchers. As always, come in and check out what the artists are doing in the store. We've got new stuff coming out all the time. Come say hi to Draven, our new retail associate. And then tune in. We'll see you later. Check out our online store as well. I think I said it all. Did I get it right?
Yeah, tell my family to see me real soon.
All right. Hello to Joe Shell's family. She'll see you real soon. And we're all invited to your cookout, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Save some ribs for me. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.